why haters be telling me to mind my business when they're out here not minding theirs. Shut your mouth and enjoy the tea. We all know you're here for it, sis.
Vloga, fishing over. You were being one less than I'm a gozy. Owamie, Owamie. Owamie, Owamie. Owamie, Owamie.
Hi ninjas, how are you guys doing? It's your girl Owamie. Whew. Today guys, we're gonna just go ahead and have like some real talk. I just woke up, only brushed my teeth. I didn't even wash my face. I am still in my robe and I'm just sitting in my office sipping coffee. It's cold as hell. I've got my heater on. Today's video is gonna be a bit different, I should say, and I think that this is the video that might get me a lot of hate. It might get a lot of heat because obviously my values, my thoughts, they will not be like everyone's else. You understand? I'm someone that I usually don't think with emotions. I usually use my mind, especially if I'm in a right state of mind, child. And I woke up today, you guys, just gut rented. Like I couldn't believe it. I've been just at a place of shock, and I'm scared. I won't lie. I really am. And that is because of the Phoenix massacre. And I feel like I have my fellow black people that are just not just black, white, Indian, yellow, green, blue, red, whoever you are, whichever group you fall under. We are all not realizing that this is actually man-made, everything that's happening. And that's my opinion. I'm going to say that this will be my opinion. This, for me, in my opinion, is man-made. I feel like there's a greater force that is basically like just playing, and then we've got puppets or muppets that are basically like, their strings are being pulled, and people are not seeing it. People are not seeing it. Number one, you guys, the government knows people are poor. Don't ever sit down and think that the government does not know that people are poor. The government knows that people are poor. The government knows that if it continues to give people the 1,800 for the grant of old people, the 400 and something for the child support, the 350 whenever they're busy looting 500 billion, they know that they're going to keep you guys to say that, you know what, this is where you're supposed to stay, and we're going to keep on giving you these peanuts that we give you. Every single thing that you guys see in this country, you guys, it is man-made, it is planned. The educational system that we have in this country is planned. It is planned to make everyone useless. And I know that people that are going to be like, oh, I mean, what, for some of you that will not know, maybe just thinking I'm just some stupid girl on the internet. No, I did go to school, passed my matric first time proper. I went to varsity. But let me tell you something, guys. In varsity, I did not learn anything that I would say is something that I'm using now. Yes, the only thing that I'd say I benefited more is that obviously I got to learn how to interact with people. It boosted my self-confidence, because when you go to like a higher institution like university, you meet different people from different places, so it kind of does make your mind broad. Yes, people that went to school, they will think a little bit better than someone that never went to school, but in all honesty, they removed all the things that were useful in school, and they only left most of the majority of stuff that are useless, in terms of they basically train you to be one thing, and if you are not that one thing, then you're basically useless. And I know that there's some of you that will not understand. Let me go ahead and explain to you guys. So basically, if you are someone that is going to school, you're gonna go to school obviously from standard 1 or whatever, grade 1, and then you pass your matric. Yay, hooray, that's great. You pass with distinctions. You're going to school, and now you're going to learn how to be a doctor. Or let me not say a doctor, because doctors usually after they're done, they go to school, they go get jobs. So let me say maybe something that is not even in the medical, but obviously that's what I'll give an example with, because I went to Medunsa, which is University of Sefako right now. So let's say maybe you go and you do BSc, right? You go to Medunsa, you do BSc, and then obviously you say first year, second year, From second year, you need to already start choosing the stream. So they start cutting your courses. You're gonna just be diving deeper in the course that you basically want. So you can be even allowed to take 2 subjects, and then you're gonna be going there. And then when you go to your third year, that's when you're basically going to choose like a niche. This is where I'm gonna go. You go straight with that, and then that's what you're gonna go for. So if you are done with that and you can't find a job with that, you cannot find a job with any other thing that you can say I'll apply that I actually got from school, because you don't have the qualification for that. I'll give you guys an example. Somebody that did computer science in Medunsa, they've got different, like there's networking, there's this, there's that. If you specialized with networking, that's where you're supposed to go and get a job. If now it is like the other stream, you don't have qualification for that other stream. So basically, what I'm trying to show you guys is that they made sure that you can only go this route and you're not going to. Hey, Owamie here, and I have some great news. If you have a YouTube channel or a business and you would like to get some affordable advertisement, I offer those services. Follow the instructions on your screen right now and say hello to some new traffic. Now let's get back to the video. Venture. So obviously this makes things very difficult for many people, because if you can't find a job with that, which high chances are you won't, because there's already a lot of people that are out looking for a job with the same qualifications that you have, then it means that you're supposed to sit down, obviously being unemployed. And obviously, I always say this in private, I'm like, you cannot tell a starving man not to steal. You can tell them, but trust me, they're not going to listen. And those are the facts of life. That is the truth. I am disgusted by what happened, the looting, everything that happened. It definitely shows that we do have people in our midst that are very stupid. Because in my personal opinion, I feel like, yes, you can sit down and you have to think about like, there's the economy, there's that. That's one side. But the fact that I actually saw certain buildings burned, if you are going into a store and you're looting, you're already taking the food. You burning that store, for what reason? The looting is wrong on its own, but the burning of the infrastructure, and which is why you guys, I personally feel this is something that is being controlled. It's being controlled by people that are staying in mansions up there. There is definitely a bigger plan, you guys, that is coming, and South Africa is not even realizing this. There's a lot, you guys, that is still going to come. I'm telling you. As it is right now in KwaZulu-Natal, there are allegations that if you're black, you're not allowed to enter any shop to buy anything. They're only allowing Indians and whites. And that's because they're looking at every black person as I don't know how to say this, like as a suspect. Even though maybe it's like in the suburbs and, this is somebody that you see like they're well dressed, they're driving a proper car. This is somebody that has the money to can pay for whatever, but just because you're black, they're now allegedly not being allowed into shops. I also saw someone like Minnie Jamini tweet about it, or put out a statement on Instagram. She was talking that, number one, obviously, she was saying that, her parents don't have food at this moment. Like, food is running out. There are mothers who have got young kids who their formulas run out and they can't go to the shops and buy because they're black. Majority of black people, you guys, they live in very impoverished situations. And I will not lie to you guys, we're not just victims. Sometimes we're victims of our own stupidity. Most of the times you'll find that people that stay in shacks, they've got so many kids. One person has got 5 children, you stay in the shack. What are you doing with so many kids? When the government has basically made plans that you can go for family planning and you can obviously maybe perhaps even have one child. That's if you should even have one. For me, there are certain things that you guys said. When I say this is when I get so attacked. People are like, oh, children are from God. Guys, if children were just simply from God, then you'd just wake up pregnant. You do need to do something in order for you to get pregnant. Unless if you are like, married the virgin, then child, control your womb. I'm not even going to lie. And I know that there are people that are going to be like, oh, well, it's not just women, it's also men. But at the end of the day, you are the one that has to carry a child 9 months. I remember growing up, my mom used to tell me that you don't make a child for a man, you make a child for you. So you should only have a child when you are ready. And that's something that I definitely took to heart and I definitely used. And for many, many years, that's what has always been in my mind, that I won't have a child until I'm financially ready. It didn't even have anything to do with the other person, but it had everything to do with me, because I was like, why on earth am I supposed to have a child when I'm financially struggling to this level? Do you understand what I'm saying? At this moment, obviously, the massacre that is happening in Phoenix, media stream is not really showing it out, but allegations goes as follows. The video footages and the pictures that I have seen, you guys, or that I saw, they were basically showing black people being killed by Indians. I also saw some other videos in other parts where, you know, it was colors, like basically beating up black people. I've not seen a video of whites, but apparently or allegedly circulating around, whatever. But what I saw with my own eyes was Indians. Now obviously there were also some audios that I actually heard, and they were basically saying that if you're black and you're in Phoenix, they're just like killing you. It doesn't matter if you are walking, it doesn't matter if you're from the shop, not the shop, because obviously the shops right now are up the smokes, but even if you are just like, you know, maybe you are going to get petrol or you whatever, as long as you're black, allegedly, you know, that they've been shooting people. Now obviously there are shops and there I should say their livelihoods have been destroyed by black people. You know, they've gone in there, they've looted, they've done this, they've done that. Number one, as a human, you are going to get angry. And I think that, you know, if you anger someone enough, they are going to retaliate. There's something that they're going to do, because we're all human. You understand what I'm saying? However, I personally don't believe that it should be to an extent where you kill. That's just me. I feel like if they were using rubber bullets, I was gonna be like rooting for them, like, yes, wound them, hurt them. Like, I feel like if the law is not protecting you, then you do need to protect yourself and your assets. However, do I think that it is proper to be shooting people that are unarmed? I don't think so. I don't think that you need to bring a gun to a night fight and a knife fight. But at the same time, it's like, we do understand the anger, but I don't agree with the reaction. I don't think that you need to take guns now and start shooting people. There's one that I saw where this man was shooting two black men, and oh my gosh, he didn't flinch. You could see that it was like, you know what, he's just at training and those are just boards, but those were black men. It's honestly so sad. But then again, I had another clip. It was of an Indian woman that was basically crying and praying to God and saying, God help us, that now Zulus are actually entering and they're shooting people in their homes, Indians. When the looting started, you guys, police were mum. Like, even social media did not even cover it that much. Please raise your hand if you, when seeing the after effects and the aftermath of everything that just happened, shocked you to say, oh my God, was it like honestly to this extent? Because at first it's like it was trying to be downplayed. It was as if, well, you know, honestly, that is nothing. Why is it that soldiers were not deployed the minute the looting started? Because let's think about it, you guys. When Corona started, for people to not be in the streets, they deployed soldiers just like that. But you mean to tell me that people were looting in KZN and soldiers were not immediately deployed? These people had time to take furniture. These people had time to take birds. These people had time to take televisions. I remember there's a video of one man. They were just taking a video of him. He was busy fighting, trying to put the plasma, I think it was a 58-inch, into his car. And like, he's like, it's not even like people are even afraid at this moment, because they know there's nothing that's happening. It's only now that they will want to deploy soldiers so that they go there once everything has been looted. I heard that the allegations that they are insinuating that they will have to now come to your house and ask for the receipts of the stuff that you bought. You mean to tell me that I still have receipt for this nonsense? You mean to tell me I don't even have receipt for my camera? I bought this online. I don't even have receipt. I don't know. I don't have receipt for my desk, my office, like nothing. I don't, because I bought these things a long time ago. So how are they going to differentiate that, or this grocer was actually looted or not? The aftermath, you guys, of this, what I basically see is that there's going to be a massacre in Phoenix that is going to be horrible. And I pray to God that that doesn't happen, because one thing we should all know is that Zulus are cut from a different cloth. And I'm not just saying this because I know that people that will think that maybe I'm just being snarks or whatever. I was married to a Zulu. I still am. My divorce ain't even finalized yet. My in-laws, Zulu. And so I lived in that area, you guys, long enough to actually kind of learn a little bit of their culture. If there are people that are like, you know what, who will die at war, it's Zulus. They will go to the highest level and the highest level to get what they want. And if there's one thing Zulu people hate, is feeling disrespected or feeling like someone is looking down on them. And this whole situation that is happening, I'm telling you, I personally feel like the Indians in Phoenix that are doing these things, they will live to regret. As much as I disagree with what is happening, I disagree with obviously anyone going to someone's place and obviously looting and destroying their belongings and everything. I feel like the government, again, just like the looting, they are still quiet right now. Mainstream media is not covering this when it's still a very small amount of people that have passed. But once the Zulus retaliate and they decide to go and gun down the way that blacks are being gunned down now, I'm telling you that's when mainstream media is going to join in. Oh, Zulus in Phoenix are doing this and that. And unfortunately, at that moment, they're going to have to count more bodies. And they're gonna definitely have to carry more body bags. Now I saw this other lady that said this theory, and I was like, oh my goodness, you might actually be right. I feel like people do forget that there was a billion graves that were buried, and that was supposed to be wiped by corona, and people were supposed to be buried. But by the grace of God, poor as we are as Africa or South Africa, God helped us and God saved us, and we didn't die like that, okay? Yes, corona is taking a lot of people, but at least it's not 1 million people. But at this moment, obviously, number one, since this whole situation started happening, allegedly there was a report that came out saying that since the looting started, the corona numbers went up. And someone asked to say, you mean to tell me people stopped looting and then took a pause from looting, went to test for corona and went back to looting? So where are you getting all those numbers? Number one, is it a lie? And then the other thing again that was also there, and what this lady said, she basically said that, you know what, at this moment, even if it's a matter of like, okay, fine, the corona is now, here, and there's a lot that's happening. It means that in this looting, people obviously were not social distancing. Most were not even wearing their masks, because you can't really run proper with your mask. So it means that numbers are going to rise. Once they rise, people die of corona. And guess what? Those 1 million graves are definitely going to have a use, right? And if obviously people are dying in that much numbers, in large numbers like that, obviously the World Organization has to come up with something to help the country, which means that more money has to be released, and obviously your government will then have more money to loot. Because let's not lie, we all don't know where the 500 billion rands went. I also saw this other allegation that was saying that the damage at this moment is still an estimate of 15 billion rands that was looted and obviously damaged and everything like that. And I was like, I think it might be a little bit more, but 15 billion rands, that's a lot of money. And then I look at the aftermath and I'm like, oh my gosh, like look at this. This is 15 billion rands, like allegedly. Now imagine what 500 billion rands is. If it's a matter of this stuff could have costed 15 billion, and the aftermath is like this, imagine what was spiritually looted, because obviously the money we never got to see, but the damage of 500 billion, imagine how much that is. I am really scared, you guys, for Phoenix. I feel like it will be war between Indians and Zulus. And unfortunately for Indians, Zulus have got the numbers. And that cut from a different cloth. That's what I say. It will not end well for both of them, but I feel like they might feel it a little bit more. The government has failed everyone. The government has failed everyone in this country. In my opinion, our president should just step down, because I don't feel like we have a president at this moment. I think we need someone that will come up and stand up. And there's something that I also saw. Julius Malema at this moment, he's very out of it. He's just like, and I don't understand what is going on. For the longest time, Julius Malema has always spoke sense, and I've always respected him. And I've always respected the things that he says. Not all, but most of the time, he would make sense. There's a video that I also saw which he made like a while back, and he was basically saying that Zuma, even if he's a pensioner, he's gonna have to be arrested. They're gonna have to do this and they're gonna have to do that and whatever. And when that day comes, whatever. And then Jiggy Jiggy has now changed his mind. I guess that was because he went to Nkandla and he basically got tea. At this moment, you guys, people are fighting and rallying over a man that did criminalism. Zuma is not innocent. Let's not get that wrong. I don't care, because I know that there are people that are going to be like, oh, this person did this person did that. At this moment, we're talking about Zuma. Zuma is not an innocent man. And I may be hated for that, but he's not an innocent man. Everyone in South Africa. Would you like to start a new YouTube channel, but you have no idea where to start? Or you already have one, but it's not going well, and you wish you could get someone give you some personal advice? Well, who better than someone with over 100,000 subscribers? I'm giving those services for a small fee, of course. The details will be on the screen somewhere here, so make sure that you follow them and say hello to a new successful YouTube channel. Now, let's go back to the video chat.